Together we are but first coffee. Susie's just our host, but what matters most is we are a team. Together we are all safe here, and so are you. Among friends and mods we are safe. We talk about trauma, break down drama of life, death, happy or sad, even mad. We discuss it all here. Together we will thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Together we fight cults or fight addictions. If not with experience, with love, and we don't judge. Please understand, this is a safe place to land. Please understand, you're not alone. This is a safe place to land. Together we thrive, not just survive. We will dry each other's tears, celebrate big or small wins, and chase away the fears. Because we are but first coffee, and Susie welcomes us all here. Together we are but first coffee, and Susie.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome back for Vlogmas 19. Can you believe it? Oh my God. It is like this month is flying by. So I was sorry. I was glancing at the chat. I have a hard time not paying attention to what they're doing in the chat because they're always having so much fun. But anyway, I am really excited to be here tonight. This is like literally less than a week before Christmas at this point, and I don't have any gifts wrapped except for what I shipped off already. So I have got to get with it. I've got to work on some stuff for my little side hustle that I do with that auction. I've got to work on that after I get off of here tonight, and then we got to go deliver that stuff tomorrow, and then I'm going to start wrapping and pray I don't forget to go live tomorrow night. Somebody might need to remind me. Mark's pretty good at it though. He's pretty good at coming in just in the nick of time and saying, "Did you forget that you're going live?" So, yeah. Yeah, wrapping gifts. Not rapping like singing, but wrapping gifts. So, yeah. Anyway, I should have just went with the whole gift bag thing, but I just wanted to wrap them pretty. So, oh wow. Mare has 90% of her wrapping done. Well, I have 99.9% of mine not done. I think there might be one thing over there that's wrapped. I can't remember. So it looks like another, what did we call it? A mod reunion the other day when at first it was just the mods that were in the chat, which there's more people that are lurking, but yeah, it is funny when I look up and everybody's a mod, but it usually equals out a little bit into the live. And this is going to be one that I really do want you to join in again. There's probably not going to be very many ever that I don't want you to join in and talk. So anyway, Heat My Shorts is here. It is so good to see you. As always, thank you so much for being a mod. I appreciate it so much. Same with Marilee. Appreciate her so much. Julia O'Connell. Love seeing you here. Thank you also for being a mod. You just never know. After we get through all the Christmas stuff and we get back to some, normal content, those mods might really come in handy. They're kinda getting a little bit. Hey, John just came in the back office, so he'll be starring some comments. Ben is here. Let's see what Ben's got to say. Oh God, why do the old people in the line at the pharmacy? Because the earth is cursed, Ben. Yes. Have you seen the light? Believe? Yeah. I don't really understand what that was all about. So, oh, the song's been stuck in your head all day. Well, that's so cute, Heat. I like that. It gets stuck in my head too, but lately I've had like Christmas songs stuck in my head, but and not even the ones I like. If y'all remember, we did a live on, songs that we love and songs that we hate and all that, and I said I don't like that song, I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, and I have been singing that song for days now. So, I hope it gets stuck in all of your heads too. Jersey Jan is here. Thank you so much for being a mod. She has had her wrench for probably a week. It has not disappeared, y'all. Ben, even though I tease you, I do appreciate you being here as well and for being a mod. Yeah. Oh, wow. Uh, Julia says it has dropped 20 degrees so far. Yeah, it's got really cold here too, all of a sudden. It's going to be, I think Mark said around 52 tomorrow. And I know the rest of you are going, Susie, that's not real cold. But we were just in the 70s. Okay. So, yeah, it is. It's going by too fast, Julia. It truly is. Yep. Yep. The secret cloth bags. I know it. I need to, you know what I need to do? I need to next year, that needs to be one of my goals that I try to meet. I don't say, resolutions, but I do have goals. But anyway, I need to get my sewing machine out and just start making a bunch of cloth bags of all sizes, so I would be all ready for next year. It'd be cute. Mhm. Yep. Jersey says paper bags and tissue paper so easy. The only thing that makes it hard is having the right size bags because I mean, I have large items, small items, in between weird shaped things. I don't know. It's a pain. Julia has to do hers tomorrow. Yeah. Hey, John, he's saying happy Friday. Yeah. I just love these mods, y'all. If you were watching this, I don't know what you're thanking me for. Did you get your Christmas gift? It might be that, Ben. I'm like, "Why is he thanking me? I have not done anything even remotely thank worthy," or, so whoops. Yeah, I find having no goals is the only goal worth having. I set very easy ones. Things that I just kind of want to do, like my daughter was talking about setting things like, um, she wants to send more cards out. She wants to, all year, birthdays and stuff like that, and like things that she wants to do at different times of the year and then you forget and then it's like, "Oh crap, we were going to go do this," and now it's too late and that kind of thing. Mm, let's see here. Oh, just for being you. Thanks, John. Aw, you guys are so sweet. I don't know if I did, Jan, because I think so. I did notice I got some more stuff in today that I don't know what it is, but my husband just brought it in. Mark just brought it all in. he had to put it in the bucket on the tractor and haul it in between what I ordered and what people have sent me. So I will be, looking into that later tonight. Honestly, it might be tomorrow before I get to even sorting through the packages that came today. So I will be looking. Yeah, tissue paper is wonderful. Aw. Keep My Short says, "Give yourself more credit, Susie. You are so valued. Thank you for these hangouts and for being you." Thank you. Absolutely. I just, I don't know. Thank you. I'm just gonna say thank you. You do you, boo, in your own time. I would rather go do that, but I've gotta gather all this stuff up for the auction, and I don't know, I usually do that during the day, and what I did today was I actually just worked on all the shows that we're doing between tonight and Monday. And so I was trying to get all that done and make sure that I had everything I needed and all that, and made the thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. So that I will be less stressed Saturday and Sunday and even Monday. So making any pie, I'm not. I want to. A bacon pie. I've heard of tomato pies. I don't think I'd like that, but I like anything with bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And John is in the back. Thank you so much, John, for being here. You're always welcome to come on screen if you want to. You know that, or you can stay back there hid in the corner and, and star comments, whatever you want to do. So anyway, I do want to welcome everyone. And tonight we're going to kind of dig into the weird, wild, and absolutely wonderful history behind some of our favorite Christmas traditions. And I'm kind of calling this Mythmas, kind of like we got Vlogmas. Well, now we got Mythmas. That's kind of hard to say, but it is kind of how I used to talk before I took a lot of speech therapy. Mythmas. So, I will say this, y'all, a little spoiler. Some of you all have been hanging pagan plants on your doors and not even knowing it. So, I know. I'm like, I wonder if some of my Baptist preachers know some of the information I'm gonna go over tonight, because they might rethink things a little bit. And it also made me, like, understand a couple of things that I had kind of wondered about. So we're gonna just look into a few of the traditions. So y'all grab a seat and join in the chat, please. Let's talk traditions, history, the meanings of some of this stuff. And anyway, so I will tell you this, that researching this live, I kind of fell back in love with the whole Santa Claus thing. But I mean, more the old-timey Santa Claus, the original Santa Claus. And so, anyway, I knew that, Santa was a real man, but I confess that, sans the elf workforce and the flying reindeer, I kind of assumed that the cartoon version of his origin was at least a little bit right. But, you know, not really. But the truth is that the real story is, yeah, less cute, but absolutely more meaningful, and really kind of helped me get a little bit more. I had just said yesterday that I'm having a harder time this year, strangely, than ever, like, not remembering about the religious side of Christmas, or, the whole Jesus is the reason for the season kind of thing, but just I just think that it has to do with my whole disconnect from, organized religion and stuff. But anyway, so when I was going over all this stuff today, it really it kind of made me feel more in touch with my religious side of the holiday, and thus made me more excited about the holiday because it became less about giving and how pretty my gifts were going to look, or what kind of meal we were going to have and all that, and it became about what it was really about. And so we're going to go over some of that tonight. So anyway, um so Santa is actually based on a real man named Saint Nicholas. He was around 300 AD in what is now Turkey. So he was born into a wealthy Christian family and inherited all of their money. He was an only child, and he inherited their money. But he was also a bishop who lived in the church. His meals, all of his, living expenses were covered by the church. And so he was able to continue using his family's inheritance for a lot longer than he would have been had he had to actually, uh, pay all of his own bills and everything. So it kind of worked out. He got to keep his little side gig going a lot longer. So this Saint Nicholas is actually known for secretly helping children and struggling families. And there was just something so beautiful about that. And I mean, I don't know, just his spirit of giving and helping. It was just nice. I just enjoyed reading a bunch. I actually read a lot more than what I'm going to go over because it was just really lovely. Um, there's lots of information on Google and everything. You all can definitely go look at that if you would, like more detail. But anyway, there is this famous story about him leaving money so that three poor sisters wouldn't be sold or forced into desperate situations, if you know what I mean. And what he would do was Saint Nicholas would secretly throw bags of gold into people's homes, and sometimes he had to do that through their chimney because their houses were locked up. He didn't have any other way of doing it. So, you start seeing how some of this happens, but I also worried about, like, what if there was a fire in the chimney? I don't know. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But anyway, so He, um, he kept his gifts anonymous and silent, and it gave the families that he helped much needed help, obviously, and it gave the 3 sisters that were saved from forced labor, exploitation, and being sold, as well as being married to, someone that wouldn't require a dowry, because back then, um fathers offered a dowry to men that would come to marry their wives, and that dowry would actually, in most situations, it would help them to have a start, like to get a little bit of a start in life. But with poor families, a lot of the people that would come to marry these women were already wealthy, usually, maybe it was their second or third time being married, so much older. And they a lot of times they were just looking for basically someone to be a maid and, you know, somebody to sleep with. So, actually his giving these gifts to these families not only helped them on a day-to-day basis, but it also allowed them to offer even small dowries so that they could get these daughters could get husbands that they wanted to marry or that wanted to marry them, and not just for nefarious, sorry. So, yeah, it was kinda nice. Here he was saving these women, these young, very young women from marrying some old a-holes. So, anyway, and Saint Nicholas, he believed that true charity should be silent with no praise, and that it would be giving dignity and safety and choices. It wasn't just about just giving, and they could go buy a new dress or they could go do this or that. I mean, if they needed one, yeah, but it wasn't just about giving frivolously. It was about really making it where they could have dignity and safety and, again, choices. And the choices were generally in who these women, and not just the specific 3 sisters, but others too. Not just, in choices in who they would marry. So I just thought it was really lovely, actually. So, how did he become known as Santa Claus, right? So his kindness stories, they spread all across Europe, and in the Netherlands, they started calling him uh Sinterklaas. So, and then the immigrants brought the stories to America, and over time it turned into a whole red suit, sleigh, reindeer, the North Pole, all that kind of stuff. But it really wasn't to begin with. It was just about this kind, generous man wanting to help people. And wouldn't you know it, they brought it over to America and we had to F it up, y'all. Really. So, anyway, but y'all know me. I really did. I just needed to know more. So, I do have some slides that I want to show you, and then I'll, go on from there. But anyway, so the first one is the history of Santa Claus, and we've kind of gone over some of this. I'm going to shut this thing off for just a minute. Sorry. But anyway, I want to go over it again. So, first of all, it was St. Nicholas in the 300s AD. He was a real person, he was a wealthy bishop, but his wealth came from, um, his family money. He didn't get his money from being a bishop. So, he gave money secretly to protect the poor, and he was known for kindness, not presents, and no elves. Yeah. So the core idea was just quiet generosity. Now, Sinterklaas, which was in the Netherlands in the Middle Ages, was the Dutch version of St. Nicholas. He arrives by boat. He had on a red bishop's robe and a big tall hat. Sometimes we see this and it'll be like Father Christmas kind of thing. And he gave gifts to children. So this is where the name Santa Claus comes from. Yeah. Sinterklaas equals Santa Claus. So there's that one. And hold on. I'm going to remove some of these from the studio as I go because I've got others that I need to bring up too. So, the history of Santa Claus, in the third step was the American remix, the 1700s to the 1800s. Dutch settlers bring Sinterklaas to America. Then writers and artists start changing him. He becomes less religious, more playful, and moves from church to home. Focus shifts. Focus shifts. Sorry. Wow, I cannot talk. It shifts to children and behavior. And then there was the poem that changed everything in 1823, A Visit from St. Nicholas, aka 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. That was the poem that gave us the sleigh, the reindeer, and the chimney. So that's where all of that started, was simply with a poem. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I thought it was just fascinating. Hold on. Okay, now we have number 5 is Thomas Nast, 1860s to 1880s. He was a political cartoonist who gave Santa his round body, moved him to the North Pole, added a workshop and list making, and Santa became a character, not a saint. I think it's kind of sad, really. I mean, I love both versions of Santa, but I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and everything. I don't know. I kind of find, like, Father Christmas, this Saint Nicholas, the, a a wealthy bishop helping the poor. I kinda find that just, I don't know, lovely. It's my favorite word sometimes. It fits everything. It's just lovely. So, then enters Coca-Cola era in the 1930s through present day. This locks in the version we know today. Red suit with white trim, big smile, commercial friendly, and a global symbol. Now, Coca-Cola did not create modern day Santa Claus, but they absolutely, made it globally seen and recognized. So, yeah. Hold on just a second. Got one more of these and then we'll go to some more. And then, yeah, Coca-Cola didn't invent Santa, but they standardized it. That's the word I could not think of. The big shift, and this is the key point, St. Nicholas, he protected the vulnerable, he gave quietly and with dignity over attention. And the modern Santa is rewards behavior, is a big spectacle, and is commercial gifting. Same symbol, but very different purposes. So I posted kind of a or put kind of a picture of, you know, Santa Claus and Saint Nicholas. So anyway, I'm gonna move that out. Okay. So had you all ever heard the story, the true story of Saint Nicholas? I mean, I had heard, variations on it. I had heard that it was, Saint Nicholas, but I had not ever heard the story of the the poor sister, the 3 poor sisters that he helped. I had not really heard how the timeline of how it progressed from Saint Nicholas to what we see now, and I'm just wondering, yeah, Coca-Cola changed everything, didn't it, Joya? Yeah, it sure did. Hey, Indigo, good to see you. Seems like we were just here last night, doesn't it, Indigo? We was talking just last night. So, anyway, so let me see where I was at. Try to keep my notes in order. So, what I'm kind of wondering is, do you all wish that the true version of it, the truth about who Saint Nicholas was, or at least a closer variation of that? Do you wish that that had stayed what we celebrate with, and see everywhere today, or do you like the new version? Because I like them both. I'm not like all for one and all against the other. I like both, but I wish that the older version was taught more, because I guarantee that, you know, kids don't know the old version, because if we went and told them the older version, then it takes away from what they believe now, right? So, that's fine. Steve, go ahead. Go call your niece. Yeah, Ben, I agree. I think that the older one is more, it is more uplifting. It just means more, It just means it makes Christmas mean more. And I mean, not even that we'd be celebrating that man, but that we would just be celebrating that kind of actions, the whole, you know, just I don't know. I just think that it's neat. So, anyway, a popular legend says Norman knights brought St. Nick's bones to Ireland, burying them at Jerpoint Jerpoint Abbey, where a tomb effigy still exists, linking Ireland to the saint. I had always wondered about that. I had heard that there was like a link, but I wasn't sure. I had heard that, and I'm just saying what I heard, could be totally not right. And I have not got to that part, got that far as, but I had heard that he was Irish, but that like Oh, my nose is itching, and I took my allergy medicine. I don't know if it was that he didn't know it or there was some kind of reason why he didn't claim his Irish roots or something, but I can't remember. That's another thing. You can bet, I will be looking into it. Or if you know, let me know. Some suggest Irish figures like the Tuatha De Danann, fairies and elves, could be distant inspiration for Santa's helpers, given their magical skills. Through this is more a speculative link. Absolutely, that would make sense. Um, yeah, that actually, I get that because I mean, I would think that the Irish would have more of like I could understand them having like the fairies and the elves and all that. I mean, and not just because of the leprechauns, but just because of the way it looks there and everything. It's just so like it looks like it could be like magical and mythical and all that. I want to go to Ireland so bad. Yeah. Far better than some commie that runs around wearing red and redistributing the wealth. Mhm. Mm. Calling people lady of the evening. Yeah. Yeah, Julia, I agree. I like that he quietly gave. I don't like content creators giving for clout. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I don't either. Ben says, on an actual serious note, yeah. or, or yay. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. Okay. Da, da, da. So another question that I wondered about, and this was just kind of a random, I just kind of threw it in here. I don't even know why. But anyway, were any of you ever scared of Santa just like sneaking into your house at night? Because I know some kids that are like freaked out over the fact that Santa just would sneak in their house. So their parents have said that he like leaves this stuff outside the door and like texts them and tells them it's there and they go out and get it. So yeah. Yeah, it is beautiful in Ireland. Yeah, green and beautiful. I just I can't wait. I wanna go so bad when Mark gets retired. What's shaking? Bacon? Ugh. So, let's see here. Yeah, you'll have to let me know if any of you were ever scared of I mean, a lot of kids are scared of Santa when they have to go sit on his lap to take pictures, but I wondered if any of you or any of your kids or, anybody that you know was actually afraid and kinda creeped out by the thought of some man just coming into your house. So, okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are gonna make a move onto mistletoe. Okay, hold on just a second. I do have to bring these up because I had more things than I had room for. So let's see here. Let's bring this one up. Okay. So, what the mistletoe, right? So, oh, that's not the right one. I have got them out of order. Hold on. Susie did not do well. Well, I'll just see what goes here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. Mistletoe. Are all these? No, that one's mistletoe. Okay, maybe it's this one. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, what the mistletoe? So, step 1 in the whole thing with making mistletoe, um, like a whole thing, okay? is that the ancient beliefs, and this was before Christmas, long before Christmas, Celtic Druids believed mistletoe was magical. It stayed green in the winter, which is a symbol of life, protection, and fertility, and it hung in homes to bring good luck and ward off evil. Step two, Norse mythology. In Norse legend, tongue tied, mistletoe was tied to Balder? I don't know. A god of light. After tragedy, mistletoe became a symbol of love, peace, and forgiveness. Anyone passing under it was met with kindness and often a kiss. So that planted the seed, pun intended, for kissing under the mistletoe. Let's see, I'm going to remove that one. Add the one that I got first. Okay. And then step three was Christianity absorbs a symbol. Early Christians, I cannot talk. Early Christians often adapted pagan winter traditions. Mistletoe fit perfectly. Green during the winter, a symbol of hope and renewal. It quietly came part of Christmas decorations without official church rules. So, step four was Victorian England in the 1800s. This is where the modern Christmas tradition forms. Mistletoe was hung at holiday parties. And step five, in modern Christmases, it is now mostly symbolic and fun. It represents love, holiday cheer, a little awkward family humor, and rarely is it about any kind of belief. It's just mostly about tradition. So let's move that one. Now, a little side note that until 2004, it was widely believed that mistletoe, and actually it still is widely believed, but it was widely believed that mistletoe was the state flower of Oklahoma, but that's not really true. It was actually an unnamed rose, which was since named the the Oklahoma rose in 2004. And so until then, a lot of people for some reason thought it was mistletoe and they got it mistaken with this rose, but I've seen mistletoe and I've seen the rose and I don't know how it ever got mistaken. But whenever I moved here, everybody I knew kept telling me it was mistletoe and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So, there you go. So, another interesting tidbit was because the plant was associated with pagan practices, early Christian churches banned its use and encouraged holly instead. So, that's how holly got to be associated with Christmas. And I know to this day that a lot of the churches that I've been in will not allow mistletoe in the church. They use holly. They'll even this doesn't make sense, y'all, but they'll call it mistletoe, but it's holly because they won't allow mistletoe in there. So, anyway, the mistletoe kissing tradition was used at weddings and to promote fertility and all that was it was all very, considered very pagan though. And it blends today, it blends ancient pagan fertility rituals, Nor, Norse mythology, and Victorian era customs, evolving from mistletoe's symbol of love and life to a festive holiday game. And by the way, it's actually poison. So, yeah, don't be eating those little berries. There used to be this thing though that because it's got like little berries on it. And so they would hang it up, and as long as there were berries on it, anybody that stood under it was supposed to kiss. But the berries would fall off, and when all of the berries fell off, there was no more kissing. I could think of so many ways to go with that, but I won't. Okay. Now, the last of my slides that I have are about the origin of the Christmas tree. Because I really did wonder Where did that whole thing come from? So let's see here. Hopefully, I get these in order because, nope, that's not the right one. I got them in the exact back opposite way. So let's see here. I'm gonna, ugh, okay. Goodness, Susie, I worked hard to get those in order too, to end up getting them in the wrong order. So we're gonna try it this way and see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Christmas tree, right? So, a simple origin of the Christmas tree. In ancient roots, long before Christmas, people in Europe used evergreen branches during winter to symbolize life, hope, and protection when everything else looked dead. I get that because even just living here in Oklahoma, everything will look so dead and just kind of barren and cold in the winter, and then we have cedar trees, and they stay green all year. They're a terrible fire hazard, but they do stay green all year. So I kind of get that. So the Christian meaning in medieval Europe was evergreens were linked to Christianity as a symbol of eternal life through Jesus. Germany in the 1500s, the first true decorated Christmas trees appeared in Germany. Families brought whole trees indoors and decorated them with candies, apples, and handmade ornaments, and it spread across Europe and beyond. German immigrants brought the tradition to other countries, and it was popularized in England and America in the 1840s. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, who was German, were pictured with a Christmas tree, making it fashionable in England and soon after in the US. In short, the Christmas tree comes from ancient winter traditions, and it was shaped by German Christian customs and became a modern Christian staple thanks to royal influence and immigration or migration, whichever. Okay, so let's get the next one. Okay, so when it came to decorating the Christmas tree, early decorations in the 1500s to 1700s in Germany, candles symbolized Jesus as the light of the world, which scares me to death when I think about candles in a real Christmas tree. Oh, I get it, but I mean, I think they're beautiful. They even have those lights that look like candles, and I really do think they're beautiful, but I really also think it's terrifying. Apples from medieval Adam and Eve plays symbolizing the Garden of Eden, nuts, fruit, and paper roses, handmade, affordable, and symbolic. In the 1800s, which was the Victorian era, glass ornaments from Germany replaced the fruit. Tinsel appeared, originally made of real silver. Wow. Trees became a family tradition. Ugh, with gifts placed underneath. In the 1900s, electric lights in the early 1900s replaced candles for safety. Mass produced ornaments made decorating more colorful and personal. Themes and colors, coordinated trees became more popular in the mid century. And then I think we got one more. And then that's the end of I think, yeah, this is the last of the slides. So, okay, so when did fake or artificial Christmas trees become popular? In the late 1800s, first artificial trees were made in Germany from dyed goose feathers, created to prevent deforestation and reduce the fire risk. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that till today when I was researching this, but the more I think about it, I think it would be really pretty. And I've actually seen Christmas trees made out of feathers in stores and stuff, and so that kind of I guess that's kind of why, right? Is we're kind of copying what was done in the 1800s without me even really realizing it. So the 1930s to 1940s brush trees made from the same machine as toilet brushes. True story. So Christmas trees and toilet brushes. Seems legit though, if you think about it. In the 1950s and 1960s, aluminum trees exploded in popularity, paired with rotating color wheels for that classic retro look. I loved those. I mean, I love trees more now, but there is something so fascinating to me about those old silver trees and those lights that they had like red and blue and green and yellow, and it would turn. And so it would make your tree all these different colors. And I don't know. I remember those trees when we were little. That's the first Christmas trees I remember. And I don't know. I've seen some in like antique stores and stuff, and I've almost bought them, but man, they want a mint for them now. Ugh. The 1970s to present, PVC plastic trees became standard, pre-lit, flocked, slim, and hyper-realistic versions followed. They even have versions that fit flat up against a wall, y'all, if you live in something really tiny, which, I mean, I think it'd be great for, like, some of those New York apartments or in Japan where the apartments and stuff are so small, but I'm just like, "Wow, that is so weird to think that this it's a Christmas tree, but it just fits straight up against the wall." So anyway, so what are some of the first Christmas trees that you all remember? Do you remember those silver trees? Have you do you normally have a real tree? Do you have, the good old, fake, artificial, whatever tree? I'm really curious. We have a fake tree, as you can see, and I did buy one this year that is flocked. And I absolutely love this tree. It was not expensive. That tree only cost me, I think, $120, something like that. And I mean, look how full it is. It's really full. There's not even any tinsel on it or garland or anything. And I usually put that stuff to kind of fill in the holes. But I didn't this year. I just went simple. But anyway, I can't have a real tree because of my allergies. If you think my allergies are bad now, I would look a sight if I had a real tree. I have often thought about getting like some kind of a real reef for the front door and see if I could manage that because if not, I could always send it to my dad's or to my daughter's or something. But I love, 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 love the idea of a real tree. So, I'm wondering, what do you all do? So, do you go real? Do you go fake? What do you do? So, I'm gonna look and see. Hmm. Oh, yeah. This one. Yeah. The more I study neuroscience, the more I see insanity is hereditary, and you get it from your children. I think so. Aw. Thank you for being a beautiful friend. Joy is so sweet. So let's see here. I'm gonna get back to the regular comments and see if any of y'all are in. Let's see. Uh, Julia says, I would be afraid if he got stuck in the chimney. Yeah. Yeah. I heard that song the other day. I had never heard that, but it was some song, a Christmas song where Santa got stuck in the tree and the kids waited all night for him to get there, but he never did. And he wasn't there the next day or the next week and the next month. And then the next year, by then, the house was having an odd smell, but Santa still did it was so bizarre. I don't remember who sings it or anything, but hold on. I am actually hitting the right button, I think. Yeah, hang on your door in hopes to keep away the bad spirits. Mhm. A lot of people were very, against, like, reefs and all of that because they considered it very pagan, so that's so sweet, Steve, that you called your niece on her birthday. That is really so, Marilee, we're gonna have to hear about this Scottish tradition on New Year's called first footing. We're gonna do some kind of a really good show on New Year's, so we need to definitely that's one of the things that we'll be so oh gosh, Ben's singing the Oklahoma song now. Hey, Patty, thank you. I like my elf ears. I've actually got 4 sets. They have different shaped ones, but these they show up better, I think. So, I'm always wondering if people are gonna see them or not. I don't really have pointy ears. Yeah, the wind comes right before the rain. Oh, yeah. Here we go. The best effective ritual I've seen for fertility and procreation is the maypole. Everyone I know to have done one has gotten pregnant. Really? That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. The berries have to be on the mistletoe. If the berries are gone, there's no more kissing. Yes, holly is beautiful for garlands. It is. I love holly. I do. I don't particularly like mistletoe. I don't know. It grows in the trees around here. It grows in oak trees, and we have a lot of oak trees. And there's just these like clumps of mistletoe in them, and everybody's like, "Oh, can I come get some of your mistletoe?" I said, "You can get it all." So, oh, Bavarian cream pies. Pine trees are beautiful in winter. Yes, they are. They really are. We've got some here. We've got some pine trees here. It just kind of depends on which part of the state you're in. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Julia. I worry about a fire on a dry tree even with those bright Christmas lights. Yeah. You have to get uh the name of them just went out of my head, but somebody'll know. You don't just use you have to get the newer ones that don't put off the heat. That's what we've got, and it is, you can, like, run them all day, and you can touch them, and they don't feel warm at all. Ben says the 1970s and sideburns, wood paneling, shag carpets, beanbag chairs, polyester suits. Shiver. I remember the screams, they haunt me. The 70s were very interesting, absolutely. So, he says that we usually always get real trees from the forest growing up. Now my mom has allergies and a fake tree. I don't do a tree at home. If I was all alone, like if I lived alone, I don't know if I would do one either. I do have this tree, my dad, because mom's not here with us anymore. And I had given her a tree that's made out of horseshoes and hung ornaments on, because they're like upside down horseshoes, and you would like or actually they went like that. So you would hang a ornament in each of the circle part of the, round part on the horseshoe. So, anyway, he's had that up. He's been doing that. But he's not doing like the big tree and all the Christmas decorations and stuff. And I get it. I don't know that I would. I've got one of those trees too. I got mom and I one of those horseshoe trees. So if I was all alone, it might just be that. But anyway, Or if it was just Mark and I and the grandkids weren't always coming over. So, Julia's mom loves real trees. I love them. I absolutely do, but yeah. Indigo says, "Personally for me, I'm saving up for an artificial tree so I can reuse it. Fake trees, about 3 foot tall, take it down fully decorated and shove it in the closet." Yay, merrily. Mhm. Julia has a artificial tree. Yeah, Patty's highly allergic to pine pollen or whatever it is. Yeah, me too. My eyes swell shut. My, I break out, literally break out in, like, hives. I mean, it is it's not pretty. It is awful. Indigo says, "I'm getting one that can sit on a tabletop." That's yes, exactly. This is my tallest one. It's, I think, 7.5 feet. We don't normally have ours are usually 5, 6 foot, but and I don't get one every year. It's just that, I've got, like, a white one, and I've got different colored ones and all that, pink, um, all kinds of colors, and because I used to do at least 1 tree. Gosh, my nose is running. Sorry about that, guys. Um, but this year, I just really wanted a, you know, big, fat, flocked Christmas tree. I don't know, all when I kept imagining Christmas, and literally, guys, I've been watching Christmas movies since July. All I could imagine having was a big flocked tree. Now, I did notice today that I need to sweep under the tree because a lot of the flocking has come off of it because my, little Otis, I just bragged on him for not getting in the tree. He's discovered the tree, and he's been getting up in it. But I didn't really spank him, but I reached in there, I've still got it behind me, with my riding crop, so I could reach under the tree where he was at and, like, go like this and, like, "Ugh," and run him out of there. So I didn't spank him with it, but I scared him. He was like, "Ugh," and he came out of there and he shot out of here and into the bedroom, and so far, knock on wood, he hadn't been trying to get back up in there. So, okay, let's see here. Yeah, a horse tree or a horseshoe tree. It is really neat. I'll have to take some pictures of it and show you guys. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing that I'm going to talk about just a little bit are, what about Yule logs or caroling or all the other like traditions? Do any of y'all take place in caroling? Do you take part in caroling? Do any of you go caroling? Do you live somewhere where carolers come around to you? 1 year, and 1 year only that I know of, the church that I was previously a big part of got a bunch of us together, and we literally went to different, and they went, like, there was more than one group of us. So, like, some of us went this direction, some of us went that direction, and we would actually go to people's houses around here, and we're very rural. And I mean, it was people we knew. We weren't gonna roll up on somebody that we thought we might get shot, because that's very much a possibility. But anyway, we would go up and we would carol at their houses. So one time in my whole 59 years, I went caroling. Didn't care for it. I think it would be a lot better if I lived in town and we could just walk from house to house and, carol and maybe sing along the way and all that. But to actually, sing a song, get back in the car, drive, get out, sing a song, get back in the car, drive. It was just tiring, especially because it seemed like I was every time we got back in the car, I ended up in a middle seat. So I didn't like it very much. So, so I was one thing I really didn't know a whole lot about was Yule logs, and I kind of wondered, about Yule logs. Do any of you all make Yule logs? The actual origin of them predates Christian Europe, and it was just literally a huge log that the family would burn, usually in the Norse or Germanic people, they would burn it to stay warm ac in the winter, right? It was connected to winter solstice, which is around December 21st, and it symbolized the return of the sun, protection, prosperity, and the ashes were actually often saved, and they would be used to bless homes or crops or even animals. So, of course, yet another reason why some of the churches did not like it. So, because I don't know, sometimes we could just be a little too literal and picky and I don't know. So, as Christianity spread, old Yule traditions were absorbed into Christmas. So they actually kind of took those old traditions, again, borrowing them from pagan beliefs and kind of made it their own, which I think is kind of hilarious that some of these churches are so against anything that is considered pagan, and yet they borrowed from it and turned it into something that was their own. And so, I mean, if it was good enough for them to borrow, what was so wrong with it? Anyway, so by the Middle Ages, the Yule log was firmly part of the Christmas celebrations in Europe. But how did it get turned into a cake? That's what I wanted to know. Plus, I mean, anybody can have cake, right? I mean, but a lot of people don't live where they need to burn a big old log. Be sitting in there sweating for sure. I always laugh when we go to Maui because some of the places will have fireplaces, and I'm just like, "What?" I mean, I can understand if it's up in the mountains of on Maui because it gets snow and it's freezing up there. I mean, we went one time, it was, like, close to 100 down on the beach, but there was snow on the ground, and I have never, ever in my life been as cold as I was in on Maui when we went up to the volcano, and I've never been that cold, so I can understand people there having but some of them have them that are just, the fake ones, and they don't turn on the heat, or they just turn it on really low if it's a little bit chilly that night, but yeah, cake made a whole lot more sense to me. So, yeah, in the 19th century, as fireplaces became less common, bakers created and I'll get this wrong, but it's a bûche de Noël, which is a Yule log cake to keep the tradition alive, which I think that's great. I really do. I think that and I mean it I have seen some that you would honestly think it was a log laying there. They are so realistic and beautiful. And in case any of you were wondering, mhm. Yep. The Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls are purposely made to look like Yule logs. Absolutely. And while Yule logs were considered pagan, Little Debbie does not market them as such. They wanted that made clear in everything I read. So, y'all, that's about all I've got for tonight. And but on Monday night at 7 Central, we're going to dig deeper into all things pagan that Christianity has kind of absorbed or borrowed, and so much more when my dear, dear friend Christy is back on here with us just to talk about, all of these things, talk about all things pagan, basically. Let's talk about all things pagan. You thought they were designed to look like a large rabbit poo? Yeah. You didn't know that about Little Debbie cakes either? Well, see, you learned something. Let's see here. So, anyway, I think that's gonna be about all for tonight, y'all. I have still got to figure out what we're gonna have for dinner. It's after 8 o'clock, and poor Mark's probably hungry. So yeah, you'll learn. Yeah, right? I thought it'd be fun if we learned a little bit here and there. So please, if you have anything that you wanna know about some of the Christmas traditions, or if you wanna tell us about your Christmas traditions, please put that in the comments on the replay. I can't wait to see if any of you all have anything to add to what we talked about tonight. I love you guys. Merry Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow at 7 Central. Bye bye.
Hope you enjoyed the show, so glad you were here. We meet here most days, we're but first coffee and you're welcome here. We talk about hard subjects, but we also laugh a lot. If you have a loss or win, we will cheer for you. We're but first coffee, and you are safe here. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons, notifications set to all. You don't wanna miss a show, because this is your home to y'all. So hit those like and subscribe buttons,